Good luck.
Thank you. Once upon a time, I was an Adecco associate, interning at Microsoft in the summer of 2016. Once upon a time, I spent 124 hours traveling with Alon across 3 continents, stopping by 13 different cities. I attended 94 hours of ops review. 22 hours of budget calls, 5 total weeks with Alon, 4 hours of welcoming the ambassadors at the Win for Youth triathlon line, 3 days of shadowing Hans, 2 times I caught Alon taking a nap, and 1 unique, unparalleled, and unforgettable experience. Good morning, my name is Sophia Lim, and it is my absolute honor to be able to speak to you here today. Back in September, thank you. Back in September, I was selected as the global CEO for 1 month, and for the next 5 weeks, I followed Alon around the world. Now, when I started preparing for this speech, I really started to understand what many of you must have felt when preparing for Ops Review. Where do I even start? And like many problems that I faced during my month, I went and I talked to the previous global CEOs for 1 month, and they all told me the same thing. Just speak from your heart and don't watch the videos from previous years. So of course I went and I did the exact opposite. I went and I watched every single video, analyzed it. But I did this because I wanted to make sure I could come up here and talk about something different and something unique. And to me, that is the value that this program brings to the Adecco Group and to you, that fresh and diverse perspective. So today, I want to share my perspective through 3 stories. Once upon a time, back in July, I was starting my time as the Hong Kong CEO for 1 month. One of my first tasks, and big task, was to complete an innovation project in 4 weeks. When I got the prompt, I read it and I went, what? I have no idea how to do this. And that was all I got done my first week. The second week came along and I was like, all right, I need to do something, I need to do something. And I was like, why am I trying to do this alone? I'm not an expert in this field, but everyone around me is. So for the next 2 weeks, all I did was talk to every single director in the Hong Kong office. And then I talked to friends, I talked to family, and essentially anyone with a pair of ears that would listen to me. I told them about my challenge. Now the response I got was quite astonishing. I got answers like, oh, in my marketing role, we did this. Oh, I read this article that said that. Oh, and also in my home country, we did this. Maybe this is something you can think about. And just like that, I got more ideas than I could have done through my own brainstorming and research. Do you ever feel like you are actually working in silo? The person sitting next to you might be facing the same challenges that you are today, and they might have a proven solution for it. Or maybe they don't, but you can work together to figure it out. You never really know. Once upon a time, Alon and I were taking a train ride from Milan to Zurich. Alon was busy doing his CO duties, writing emails, responding to you guys, and I was staring out the window. The sun was setting over Lake Como, and we were weaving our way through the Alps. And all I could think was, wow, this is beautiful. But this can be a very lonely journey. During my month with Alon, I saw my family for roughly 27 hours. Now, initially, I was very frustrated. And then I realized it wasn't the physical presence of my family that I missed. No offense, Mom and Dad, but I have been living abroad for 5 years, but I never felt this way. And it was then that I cried a little. That night, I went back, and I thought, why? And then I realized what I really wanted and what I really needed was just to relax, to be me, and talk about something lighthearted. None of this professional and serious Sophia. And once I made that realization, I started to schedule time to do things that I enjoyed. Maybe it was taking a hot bath while reading pre-reads for ops review. Maybe it was scheduling some time with friends or other CEOs for 1 month. And like that, I started to find this network of support around me. And then the journey didn't feel so lonely anymore. Work is work, but ultimately, we are all humans, and I think it's normal to feel lonely from time to time. But what is important is what we do during those moments, who we go to talk to get that support. And it's important to know that we are not on this journey alone, and that it is okay to be yourself, to relax, and just be the you. Once upon a time, I was considered one of the loudest candidates at the boot camp in Hong Kong for CEO for 1 month. Fast forward a few months, I was considered one of the quietest candidates at the global boot camp in Düsseldorf. Now, I find it so interesting that the same me can be perceived so differently in different environments and in different cultures. I grew up in Asia. I studied in America and in Europe. I worked in America, and through the CEO for 1 month program, I got the opportunity to see a few more places along the way and see how everyone operated. So I guess you can say I've been to a few places and seen a few environments. But what's interesting is when it comes to culture, I sometimes feel like I'm Goldilocks. There's a first bowl of porridge, whereas an environment that I'm very familiar with, an environment where everyone has the same story to tell, and frankly, I'm not learning anything new. Then there's a second bowl of porridge, and it's for an environment that is new, that is different, and maybe sometimes I feel too uncomfortable to be productive. And then there's this third bowl of porridge that is this perfect bowl of porridge, and that's what I've been trying to find in the last couple years. A perfect environment where I feel like I can be comfortable, where I can learn, and I can be productive. During my month of the lawn, I used to do this thing where every time we walked in a room, I would make sure that I would walk in behind him. And this way, I would be able to observe how he interacted with the people in the room, how he greeted them. Are we waving, handshake, hugs, kisses, how many kisses, and the list goes on. And by that, I realized that by being able to observe Alon and see how he interacted with different people from different cultures, I was able to learn a lot. Then I realized that it's really not about finding this third bowl of porridge. It's about being a bridge between the first two. But of course, bridges aren't built overnight, and it takes time and effort. It takes time and effort for us to look to other people to see what their culture expects and demands. If you are working in your home country, be that bridge. Welcome in the international talent. See what are their best practices and apply it to what you think is the status quo. If you're working in a foreign country, be that bridge. Be an advocate for your home, but also appreciate the local beauty from the bridge. Now, every story has a moral, and my 3 lessons are acknowledging that I didn't know what to do. Asking for help and breaking the silo really led me to a wealth of ideas for my innovation project. Acknowledging that I was lonely and taking time for myself, reaching out to friends and family along the way, helped make that journey less lonely. Acknowledging that I need to be the bridge between my Asian upbringing and my American or European experience helped me learn more and appreciate the journey more than I could have if I had chosen a side. Finally, I can't leave the stage without thanking a few people. Thank you to my family, who has supported and encouraged me throughout this journey. Thank you to Janet, Walter, Jennifer, Anders, and the Hong Kong team for welcoming me in, teaching me the ropes of the business, and for providing so much inspiration for my projects. Then, of course, thank you to Alan, to Hans, and all the EC members here. Thank you for welcoming me in as one of you and treating me as an equal, listening to my opinions and my thoughts. Thank you to Irina, to the foundation, and to the CEO for 1 Month Program for really maximizing my time and scheduling everything for me. Once upon a time, many of you welcomed me into your office, showed me around what you considered your family and your home. Some of you literally also invited me to your homes for meals. But know that you have all changed me and the 45 other CEO for 1 Months around the world. So for that, thank you. Once upon a time, I applied to this program called CEO for 1 Month, and it turned out to be one unique, unparalleled, and unforgettable journey. Thank you.